We'll just start off. Why don't you say your name and your current work occupation?
Okay, well, my name is Julia Guerra Sponsellar, and I'm a retired teacher
Okay.
and mother of four boys.
Or voice. Nice.
Yeah.
Fun house, right?
Yep.
A lot
Oh,
of noise.
active. Yes. Yes.
Were you retired when you started working?
Yes.
For a baby's breath?
I
Okay.
was looking for. I was looking for something to do. I've worked with children mostly, but looking to see what was next for me, and I felt called to do this.
Okay.
So I went to one place and I just didn't feel quite right at the place. It just didn't, she was going to use me for something else. And then I went and I talked to Barb Cassidy and I just felt right. And so I started right away.
Oh. And what position did you work in baby's breath?
To be an advocate.
Advocate?
Yeah,
Okay.
to be an advocate. And I actually checked off a bunch of things, but that seemed to be a good fit for me. Plus, my mother was very much pro-life too, and influenced me. She used to work for Aclamo, or volunteer for Aclamo,
Okay.
and then I just felt called. We had gone to the March for Life, and I thought this is right for me. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And what is it about the advocate position that you find fitting for you?
I think I have an awareness of, and you need to have some kind of a connection with women. Plus, I speak Spanish too, so that also helped. And I found that was really great, because they felt right at ease with me right away and talking to me. But also, I think just having that connection, being able to have that connection with the women.
And that's what made it feel like you were doing real pro-life work, not just supporting pro-life work. You were doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And how many years have you been with?
4 years now.
4 years?
Yes. Now I just wanted to be an advocate, right? And then all of a sudden a position opened, and I said, to be a director, and I just said, I don't know, I'm not qualified to be the director. But I said, I'll be an interim director, which ended up being the director. So, as often happens.
Yeah. When there's a need, there's a
Yeah, you
fill
just,
that void.
yes. And there's certain areas that I'm really good at and certain areas that I'm not. So, but that's it's accepting of myself and what I can offer. Yeah.
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 Seems to be the general understanding is that you can do what you can do, and when you find your limits, it's okay. The Lord has to provide me with other people to help me.
Right. Because for a while there was by myself for a lot, and then all of a sudden, one person came, and then another wonderful Villanova student came, and she is fantastic. And just to give you an idea, I thought she's very quiet. I don't know if she can be, she's incredible. She's just, everybody has their strength, and seeing that her work with people, it was amazing, the difference that she made. And a little bit younger too, with some of our younger clients too, help make a connection there. So that was great.
To try to talk more about what your advocate interactions like with clients. What has been sort of what's been mostly the common thing people say when they come in for?
They're scared.
They're scared.
They're scared. You don't want to tell one or other of the parents, or they don't quite open up in the beginning, so you have to sort of coax them and be a listener and just ask very broad questions, and talk to them about how wonderful it is to be a parent and the responsibility of being a parent too, and that we're there to help. So,
Do you see them open up over the course of, you said, how many visits? Like 2 or 3? Or just they'll need a couple of, chances to come in, just feel at ease, or do you think they feel at ease from the beginning when they come talk to you?
I think it takes a couple of times. Yeah.
Okay. That's not just the language barrier. That's the
No, no. I do. Fortunately, I've had more people who come in that do want to have the child ahead of time, so it's not been something that I've had to really push, I guess you could say, or not push, but encourage, basically. They already want to have the child, and I ask them I try to get them motivated to talk about the baby. And
get them to think in the sense it's not a, what a politicians want you to think. It's not
yeah,
clump of
sure.
cell, it's not
Right,
fetus,
right.
you're a baby.
Right.
Get them to think of it, helps make it more reality, like it's gonna be here. It will be here if you let it be here.
Right.
Okay. And then what's the most consoling things that you've done or said to your clients that helps them kind of be confident in themselves, that or have courage in the wake of their crisis?
Here's the thing is, I think for even as an advocate, not to be afraid to ask them questions, not to be afraid to encourage, if they're Catholic, attendance at Mass, baptism.
Yeah.
And I was actually really surprised and delighted when I went to my church, which is St. Norbert's, and lo and behold, the woman that I had been my client was getting married in the church, was doing all the things all the goals that we had set. So that was extremely gratifying. Yep.
And you got to see that.
And I got to see that.
It's pretty rare that you see the fruits of your work being the actual clients that come forward and actually have this internal grasp of taking life and taking care of it. But that's it seems to be the general understanding from speaking with advocates. How is it like managing with your time as a retired mom?
It's crazy. It's hard. I never thought that I've heard said you get busier when you retire than before. And I find that to be true. Now, I don't have anybody living at home, though. They're all like working and living on their own. And one is getting married next year. The other one is looking for a ring for his girlfriend. So life is moving on. And then I have 2 other boys that have families. So I've already been a grandmom.
So you got grandparent duties and grandchildren to look out for.
Sometimes it gets crazy because I come from a large family and birthdays here and, trying to juggle it off. Yeah.
But you find time, not because it's work, but because it's fulfillment, right? Is that sort of what you would say?
Absolutely. And I'm the kind of person, maybe it's from teaching, once I make a commitment, I'm there, or I try to be responsible if I can't be there to make sure somebody else is there, or just let people know that I'm not going to be there for a certain day. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's all.
And my last question is, if you were going to try and coach somebody else up to be an advocate, what's one trait that you think they should have the most of in order to be a good advocate?
I think a good listener, a really good listener, someone who so that they can express themselves and ask very, again, the questions too, but just be interested and listen. Yes.
It's very good. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for sitting down with me and
Very welcome.
sharing your life. It's beautiful to hear people do so well with giving up some of their time and volunteering it for a good cause. So, I appreciate
you.
you for
Yep.
sitting down
Okay.
today.
Yeah. Congratulations.